Hi there, Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think personal branding. Okay. I need your help here. Today, I'm going to give you my thoughts about Modi, Adani, and George Soros. Apparently, it seems this guy, George Soros, gave a to every Indian and every BJP and Prime Minister Modi, and he gave this. So I was wondering, like, what the hell happened, See, because I used to hear his name, but I was never interested. So anyway, before I start the video, my request to you is, you tell me where I'm wrong. Because I'm a simple guy. I don't know much about investing and, the complications of politics and these old timers. So I'm just like you. Whatever some of you read, I also read. But I do a little bit of research. So my first request to you is, if you feel I'm wrong anywhere, please correct me so that people get the right information. Okay. And through this video, I will give you not only my research, I will tell you the good side, the people who support him, or one side, the other side who hate him. Okay. And then I'll give you my conclusions and you can tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Okay. Agreed? Fine. Okay. So now George Soros, let me tell you, I have been hearing his name here and there sometimes, and I predominantly used to hear it whenever there was any criticism about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I was always hear, this is sponsored by George Soros, especially the BJP politicians and some of them who are my friends. So I was like, who is this George Soros? George Soros? I thought he is like a Rupert Murdoch. Maybe he has a media company or something. Okay. And so people used to always say, hey, this is George Soros. But then that Modi's documentary came out. And then everyone said, this is George Soros' doing. Okay, because he sponsored the BJP document. So there I got a little bit more curious, but I was still like, Chalia, who interested George Soros? But now, after I read the article where this guy, in a conference, that is Munich Security Conference on Thursday, February 16th, 2 days ago, he gave a 42-minute speech about climate change, Russia-Ukraine war, rumblings in the US, Turkey disaster, and failure in China. He spoke about all that. But then he gave a nice to Prime Minister Modi, to Adani, and to India, and I'm giving some sound effects, to the Indian economy and Indian people and democracy. And he said, democracy is in danger and all that stuff. Okay. So that is where I decided, man, now I really need to find out who this guy is. Because until now, I was thinking that, he's like one of those, controversies where they have all these hypothetical fake, made up stories. Like Bill Gates was the one who, conspiracy theories. Bill Gates was the one who spread the virus. The virus was actually planned so that these pharmaceutical companies could get money. And that is why Bill Gates got a lot of money. You keep hearing all these things and then they bring out a TED talk of many years of Bill Gates. Okay. So I was like, chal, yeah, let me research. And this is what I got. Now, this is what I'm going to share. So I asked people for and against, and now I did my research. So this is what I got. George Soros is 92 years old. Can you imagine that? 92 years old? Bloody hell. I'm 46. I feel old. Then I think 50. Then I think 60. 60 is, I think I'm going to retire. 70, then 80. And this guy is 92 years old. Bloody hell. I don't know what testosterone or what he's drinking or eating. I need to figure it out. Okay. So this guy is 92 years old. He's a businessman, philanthropist. He comes from a non-observant, apparently in Wikipedia, a Jewish family. He survived the Nazi occupation in Hungary, moved to UK in 1947. Okay, old man. Okay. But here is where he's actually not a bum on the streets or uneducated, like me, school dropout, whatever. This guy studied in the London School of Economics, was awarded a BSc in philosophy in 1951. The combination of economics and philosophy is only for people who really have a deep understanding. And then he got a Master's of Science degree, also in philosophy, in 1954. So he is not an ordinary guy. He has exceptional brilliance. And this brilliance was shown when he's infamously known as the man who broke the Bank of England. I'll just give you one line. It seems he short sold 10 billion worth of UK sterling pounds, and because of which he made $1 billion profit in 1992. Just imagine what is the value, $1 billion. Can you and I do that? And it was called the Black Wednesday UK currency crisis. Okay, so the guy is a bloody genius. We have to agree where money is concerned. And then I got shocked knowing that this guy, for the past 40 years, not 1 year, not 2 years, 5 years, 40 years, has made 20% average returns to his wealthy clients. Can you imagine that? He has one Soros Foundation, Soros Fund or something, hedge fund. Yeah, he has a hedge fund. Man, if someone tells you, I'll guaranteed, I'll give you 10% every year, or, sometimes people say, if you give me a guarantee, means you're a fake, you're a scammer. But for 40 years, he has done that. And why people are afraid of him is because whatever he predicts kind of happens. Okay, he has destabilized economies, currencies, and governments. Okay, so this is what I've got until now. Now, he is, see, understand this much. When you are so rich, you have a lot of power. You have a lot of influence. You have many people who will kiss your ass. You'll get many people who will want to be friends with you. So obviously, he also being very rich, very powerful, very connected. That also with wealthy people. I'm very sure he, he can just say, listen, I want this. They will do it for him. So with this power and contacts and connections comes influence. And always remember, when you're dealing with human beings, they have their own agenda. Okay, everybody has. I have my agenda, you have your agenda, we have our goals, we have our dreams, we have our preferences, we have whether religious or whether romantic or whether financial. So even political. Now, Elon Musk has one agenda. He's against Democrats. Bill Gates has his own agenda, vaccines, all that. Then he has his foundation. Jeff Bezos, has his own newspaper. So everybody has their own agenda and the way they want to do things. So this guy also has his own agenda. And it seems that he has donated, how much? He has donated $32 billion to his charity Open Society Foundation, his own, out of which 15 billion has been donated. So obviously, if you're giving money to charity organizations, political parties, politicians, newspapers, reporters, obviously, if, for example, someone gives me, let's say, saying $100,000 and say, Loy, I want you to speak positive about, hypothetically, positive about, say, BJP party. Okay, I'll give you $100,000, paid me cash. Or speak positive about Pakistan. I mean, maybe I can say no to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. But when someone gives 100,000, you'll be like, $100,000, yeah, for this year. I mean, this happened with that FTX, no? Sam Fried Bankman, whatever his name is. So there is a certain point where money really makes you do things. So I feel, you can tell me if I'm wrong, because of the amount of money he has and his ability to fund and support, there are a lot of people who would, whose views align, they would be very happy to work under him or for him. Okay. So until now, I guess you agree with me. Okay. So that is where this BBC documentary, which I made a video on, in that you'll see Amnesty International, which I found out later that is supported by him. And many of the reporters who spoke against Modi are all taken care of by George Soros. So I'm agreeing that George Soros does have an influence. And that is where, if he wants something to be done, can be done. Now, but does that make him anti-India? That's a big question. I researched and I found out that he placed bets against Thailand, Japan, Turkey, India, China, Hungary, from their currencies to their governments to their companies. So he's not anti anything. He has an opinion. He may not like a party or he may not like a way of thinking. But his main agenda, I feel, is to make money. And obviously, when you have a lot of money and you have a lot of power, you have an opinion. Like Jack Ma, when he spoke against the Chinese, one part of the government, he had the money and power, and the Chinese government got rid of him like this. That's why he's no more. Okay. So in the same way, George Soros, staying in the US, nobody can touch him. So now hear what he has said. What has he said about India and Modi? Let's analyze. He said Modi and business tycoon Adani are close allies. Now, this one is a fact. Modi and Adani are close allies. Why? Because Modi has changed a lot of rules from the government being in position of power that benefit Adani. And Adani also has done a lot of things and contributions to Modi. It's a known fact. So there's nothing to be ashamed about this, and you can't deny it. And yes, Adani has got tremendous leverage, tremendous benefit thanks to Prime Minister Modi. So that let us agree. Fine. And their fate is intertwined, and that I'll say yes and no also. Why? Because end of the day, even if Adani's billionaire third, now he's 24th or whatever, or even if he falls off, Modi has the support of the major population of India. Okay, the majority Hindu. So even though their fate is intertwined, I don't think Modi will get affected because the opposition is weak. Rahul Gandhi only knows how to do long distance marathon running. Okay. So Adani is accused of stock manipulation and his stock collapsed like a house of cards, which I totally agree. I made a previous video on this, and I even made, when Adani was climbing up, I made a 1 minute short video, and I said, how can someone climb 300%? 300 times or whatever, 3,000 or 2,000, whatever. So it's not normal. And we're not talking of internet, like internet-based business. We are actually talking of brick and mortar, physical, capital intensive. So it didn't make any sense. So Modi is silent on the subject, which is true. Modi is silent on the subject, but he'll have to answer the questions to foreign investors and in parliament. This I disagree, because nobody will have the balls or the guts to question Prime Minister Modi. And in the parliament, they can ask questions. Rahul Gandhi, Congress, all of them. He won't be bothered. I don't think he is. He doesn't even entertain reporters. Why the hell will he report to anyone? Okay. He did not offer any evidence for his claim. Okay, fine. This will significantly weaken Modi's stranglehold on India's federal government and open the doors for much needed institutional reforms. I don't think Modi's stronghold on India's federal government is weakened. It is still there. He's still very, very strong. He is one of the most powerful men among one of the, I'm not saying the only, one of the most powerful men in India. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Okay. I may be naive, but I expect a democratic revival in India. Nothing is going to happen. George Soros predicted that Muslims would die in millions, or they would be deported, or they would be thrown out. He had made that prediction. Dr. Jaishankar, he said that. Nothing had happened there. And his comments drew sharp reaction from the Indian establishment, which is very true. Now, I personally, what I think is, first my curiosity is, why this guy who is not an Indian is so bothered about India? I was actually thinking, why is he interfering? Obviously, like he's in USA. But then I realized the only reason is he's doing it for money. His interest, his agenda is totally money. He doesn't give a damn whether Modi is there or Rahul Gandhi is there, whether this democracy works or that currency works. He's just out there to make money. And that is why I told you, Thailand, Japan, Turkey, China, Hungary, USA, UK, he'll bet against anyone and everyone as long as his core business, that is, past 40 years, 20% returns. So, but like I told you, every person has an opinion. He also has an opinion. So, this is what I feel. I feel that what he is doing or saying is giving his opinion. And the reason why his opinion is taken seriously and people are even entertaining it is because he's very rich, very powerful, and he has billions. So when someone has billions and millions, and people will listen, yeah. I mean, if Bill Gates talks, people listen. Jeff Bezos' wife, she never earned anything. She got all billions for free. People are paying attention to her. If tomorrow anyone becomes a billionaire, they'll listen. But if tomorrow you become poor, nobody will give a damn over what you say. So I feel he's using his position of power, money, contacts, connections to share his opinion. I don't think he's planning to destabilize anything. India is economy by itself. It's not going to dance to George Soros' tunes. But end of the day, I think George Soros is an investor, businessman who wants to make money. And last and not the least, final thing which I want to tell you is, look, it's very easy to comment on other people's performance and job. George Soros is an investor. He's a brilliant investor. He's a businessman. He's a brilliant businessman. He's a genius where economics is concerned. But he's not a brilliant politician. Politics is Modi's gameplay. So Modi is good in politics. George Soros is good in investing. If Modi talks about investing, maybe it'll look funny. George Soros talks about politics, that will sound funny. So I think each one is good where they are. And commenting on each other, no. That doesn't mean everything that George Soros said is wrong. Where Adani is concerned, he is on the dot. Okay. And last but not the least, I don't think he's anti-Indian. He's not anti anything. He's just a businessman. Anyway, this is what I felt. You let me know in the comment section what part of what I shared is true, what is false. Do you think I gave you an educated response, or do you think, yeah, you're so bloody dumb man, tattooed guy, you don't know anything? Then you correct me. Correct me. Even if you criticize, correct me and tell me this is where the correction is. So, good, bad, ugly, feel free to comment down below. I would love to know your thoughts. This is me signing off. Take care. And yes, if there are any topics like this you'd like an opinion on, let me know. I'd love to share my thoughts. You guys take care.